Yo, what is up, guys? How's everyone doing today? I've been getting asked this question both in my personal life and online from people who are still playing this game, and is it worth playing? I know a couple people that are active currently in the game that have came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you think this is still worth my time? Is it still worth my effort?" And then I've had some people who are outside of it that go, "Hey, I want to get into it. How would I start? Is it worth it? Is this game fun? Is it this? Is it that?" So I kind of wanted to go over the good aspects of World Zero and kind of the bad aspects, kind of the things that I thought personally, might deter people from wanting to play the game. I guess the first question we should start with is, what is World Zero? Like I said, if you've never heard of this game, it has 440 million visits. If you have never heard of this game, you might have been living under a rock. It's one of Roblox's biggest RPGs. You choose a class, level up your character, you run through the world, you run through dungeons, you join a guild maybe. Maybe you do an event, Vane's out right now. It probably will not be still out, but they constantly have events going on. So maybe you join to do an event. Maybe you're like, "Hey, I really like the summer event, not really a fan of the Vane event." Or, "Hey, really like Vane, not a fan of like the Christmas event." So maybe you come back for one of those events. And you progress. You get new cosmetics and stuff like that. And on paper, it's everything you'd want from like a really nice MMO. After all these years, does it still hold up? Does it still entice people to play it? New players, returning players, you know what I mean? Does it still entice them to come and play? So I figured I'd go over, my personal things that I enjoy about the game and the bad things about the game. One of the things that I find personally most appealing about this game is how good the combat feels. When I play certain Roblox games, even like certain MMOs, like when I was playing Elder Scrolls Online, that game, the combat felt like dog shit. I'm not gonna lie. Jay, bleep that. The combat felt terrible. And now that I've been playing this game a little bit longer, I realize how like nice the combat feels. Even no matter what class you're on, each hit kind of feels like there's something behind it. The effects feel nice, the mechanics feel good, and the abilities look so satisfying when you use them, right? Like I know on Stormcaller specifically, that's the class that I use. I'm a really big fan of like, lightning and electricity and those types of things. So that's like personally my class, but I know some people like Leviathan, or some people like, I know some Paladin players. I don't know why they're playing Paladin still, but kudos to them. So the next thing would be, in my personal opinion, I feel like the progression in this game is very solid. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Listen, this is our little secret. Don't tell anybody. I kind of got carried up to 150 and then through all my prestigious. But listen, all right, I'm not a key example of anything. However, for the few new players that I've talked to that I have met personally, and some of the people that have gotten into the game recently, they've talked about how nice the progression feels, how it's nice to go through each and every world and, explore and learn new stuff. I know people who are level 150 prestige 2 and still don't know everything about every world, right? And I think that's a nice thing to have. There's always something to find out in all these worlds that you should have, in quotations, progressed through. Sometimes you still go back to like World 6 and you find something on the map and you're like, "Wait, that's cool. I didn't know about that." Or maybe you haven't fought all the bosses in that world, so you go back and you fight them. I think that's a really cool thing. Plus, like with gear, the way gear scales, I think it's nice. Now, this one's a really big one for me. Personally, I think that the updates are what kind of make this game, quote unquote, worth playing, in my head. I've never met, and listen, all right, I know Overseer is going to watch this video and he's going to be like, "Wah, wah, wah." All right, listen, ignore that guy. But the developers do care about this game. I've never seen a team more dedicated to anything in their lives, right? They wake up, they look at like the suggestions in the Discord, they look at what kind of we're feeling, they have their own ideas and then they implement them, right? But the dev team cares about the game. Even if every update isn't perfect, and even if, they like there are mistakes that are made, right? Like the most recent update I can think of personally where they made a mistake is the pet update, where they nerfed my clowns into the ground. I have not forgiven them. RIP my boys. But it's nice knowing that they care and that the game is still in a state where they are trying. And it's nice. It's nice to know that, a lot of big like MMOs, even off of Roblox, fail at that. They fail at that core kind of progression. That's one of the things that I personally think is a really solid thing to have. Another thing for me personally would be the visuals of this game. I think the game looks great. Came out in 2019. I still think the visuals hold up. Like I said, like I talked about earlier during the combat, the abilities look great. Listen, if you go to like World 1, World 2, maybe some of the bosses don't look that good. But every cosmetic that they drop is a banger. Every mount that they drop looks fantastic. Even if it's personally not to your style, right? Like as you can tell, I'm a big fan of gold. Even when cosmetics drop that don't really look good in my hex, they still look good. in my hex. The bosses are well designed. They look great. The worlds are well designed. I mean, personal favorite is World 7. World 7 looks fantastic. I'm a sucker for Greek and Roman themes. I fell right into this. I think World 7's great. I own the island. I'm a sucker. Another big key factor for me is the community behind this game, right? I came in streaming it back in February, and I didn't know if I was going to stick around. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then the community that I found and the community that I kind of got sucked into is amazing. Genuinely probably changed my life. The people in this game, the community that involves itself around it. They're all fantastic. And if you are ever looking for like people to play with and people to like hang out with and just a decent group of human beings to be around, this game has that. Now, ending that whole segment, let's talk about the bad. Listen, guys, the early game kind of sucked. All right, let's listen. All right, World 1, not my favorite. All right, World 1 is it's the starting world. Like World 1 through 4, I'm not a huge fan of. I'm just not. When during guild season I have to go through those dungeons, I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm not gonna lie. But the late game is really nice. You gotta pick and choose your battles on that one. I think the early game kind of sucks. But listen, that's just me. Also, if you're not really into grindy games, this game isn't for you. It's an MMORPG. If you're not into grinding, you're not into RNG, you're not into luck-based like grinding, right? I've spent the last 2 weeks of my life trying to get a stupid bolt off this goddamn dragon. All right, and I cannot get it. So if you are not a fan of grinding relentlessly and continuously trying to get new gear, this game might not be for you. However, if you are a fan of that and you are a fan of perks and grinding for gear, finally one night you're sitting there, you're doing the World 10 dungeon, you've been grinding for a stupid Vamp S plus 15% staff, and you finally get it right. That feeling is nice, right? I mean, chat, listen, I'm not the one to tell you guys this. It's kind of just glorified gambling. But listen, I digress. Now, I will go back to good things because I kind of missed it in my little notes I have here. But another great thing about this game is the cosmetics. The cosmetics are fantastic. I think the cosmetics are great. I think the battle passes are really nice. Every battle pass that I've been a part of personally, every one that I've been actively doing has been insane. I still remember when the holo wings dropped, the hologram wings dropped during the alien event, I think it was, and I still remember how stupid everybody went for him, right? I remember how dumb everybody went for him. So those stuff like that. It's the constant, cosmetic grind. And I still think they drop bangers in the chest. Like if you go through right now, the manga chest, the Emperor chest, those are just the ones that I'm looking at right now. Those ones are fantastic, right? And guilds, the guilds are great. Some of them are better than others. Go apply for the OC. But some of them are better than others, of course. So I guess for me, the answer to that question is yes. Right? Is World 0 worth playing in 2026, right? It definitely has its flaws, and the grind can be rough, and you can sit there for hours grinding this stupid dragon, right? This dumb dragon. I'm so sick of looking at this dragon. I don't want to look at this dragon anymore. I'm my bad. Lost myself for a second. And there are areas I'd love to see improved. But when you look at the combat, the progression, the visuals, and the amount of love that the devs put into this game, it's still one of the best RPGs that you can experience on Roblox. All right? So if you've been thinking about giving it a shot, you've been thinking about coming back into it, you've been thinking about jumping and diving headfirst into it, do it. But hey, that's my take. That's what I personally think. I would love to hear your guys's. If you're an active World 0 player, maybe you're somebody who hasn't been in the game. Maybe you're somebody who's never even touched it. I'd love to hear your opinion. If you guys think I missed anything, go ahead and comment it. I would love to kind of think about it. Go through it. Maybe I'll have to make another video next year. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your night. Peace.